Our friends from the Perot Museum of Nature and Science are back with us this week, and we're talking all things paleontology. Good morning, Miss Maria Perez. Yes, my goodness, I'm like choked up over here trying to figure out what's going on. Whew. Just need some water here this morning. You are a fossil preparer at the museum. Thank you again for joining us. First, we want to point out that you are wearing a mask. Both of you are wearing your mask for COVID safety reasons and for anyone who enters the museum here these days. But I want you to start off. Tell us all about you and how you got into paleontology.
Sure, welcome. And I'm standing here with my manager, Hillary, and we are in one of two labs at the Perot Museum of Nature and Science. And my job as a fossil preparator is to actually work with the fossil specimens themselves and use all kinds of tools and glue to help break them away from the rock so that they can be studied and put on exhibit.
Okay, so tell us specifically, what is a fossil and how do scientists find them?
Sure. So a fossil can be something like a dinosaur bone, which a lot of people are familiar with. It can also be poop or footprints and leaves as well, and they can fossilize too. And how you tell the difference between fossil and rock is kind of tricky, but if you know the tips, you can actually find out pretty easily. So with a fossil, we look when we're preparing and taking away the rock, we look for texture, shape, and color. And so this fossil right here is actually the brain case of a dinosaur. And it's this beautiful chocolate brown color, and it's got a lovely peppered texture. And the rock, if you can see it, I'll bring it up for you right here, is actually this gray color. And all those little marks are scribe marks or tool marks when we go through and prep it.
Oh, I love that.
So we use these clues. Yeah.
Now tell us, are there any fossils that can be found in North Texas? You can see I'm kind of like looking at the screen trying to dig in and really see here. Look, are there any fossils that can be found in North Texas?
Absolutely. So actually during the Cretaceous period where dinosaurs were living, Dallas was underwater for most of the Cretaceous period. So we have fossils of giant marine reptiles like mosasaurs who would swim over Dallas during the Cretaceous. And things like ammonites, which look like nautilus. They swim in the ocean, and we have sharks and all kinds of stuff.
And what kind of career skills do you need to become a paleontologist?
Sure, for paleontology, you need probably an education in geology and biology. You can double major in them when you're in college. I personally took the route of geology. I love going out in the field, and with geology, I got to do that a lot with my university. And then I took a little bit of biology classes here and there to kind of fill me in so I would be familiar with anatomy.
Are there many women in your field?
So that's one thing that we're trying to work on. I think STEM in general, we have less women than men. And so as part of an IFMN ambassador, we're actually promoting women in STEM fields. And thankfully at the Perot Museum, we have mostly women in our lab.
Okay, and what are your favorite dinosaurs? If you can name like your top 3, top 5, what are your favorite?
Oh goodness, it changes all the time because all of these dinosaurs, you learn a little bit about each of them, and so they become kind of your favorite. But right now, I think my favorite is a dinosaur called Therizinosaurus, and it has these 3-foot-long claws. It looks like the Wolverine, like of X-Men, but a dinosaur. And it's actually related to things like T-Rex and raptors, so meat-eating dinosaurs. But we think this one actually ate plants, so it's just super weird and cool. And then for the other two, I think Pachyrhinosaurus would be one of those. This is the dinosaur we work on in the museum right now. And all the bones that you see out on the lab desk here is actually from this dinosaur. And then my third, I'm going to say my childhood favorite, Parasaurolophus, the big crested dinosaur.
It's just so neat to think about dinosaurs and the fact that they roam this earth and how massive they were. So certainly some incredible work that you and your team are doing over there at the Perot. Ms. Perez, thank you again for joining us here this morning. When we do come back to WFAA Academy, we're going to see some actual fossils, some more fossils that is, and learn all about them. We'll be right back.